Mahashi's Global Family Chat. News of rising invincibility around the world. This is the news everyone needs to understand how the trends of time are changing towards peace and prosperity. Mahashi's Vedic technologies, transcendental meditation, and its advanced program Yogic Flying are being implemented globally. Just the square root of 1% of the population practicing yogic flying together in a group is enough to raise the levels of harmony and coherence in the collective consciousness for the whole population. Enjoy the news of enlightenment dawning for every individual, invincibility for every nation, and peace for our dear world. Jai Gurudev, welcome to Mahashi's Global Family Chat on the 24th of March 2020. Today it's a very great joy to welcome Raja Luis, Raja of Invincible Latin America, who is also the Minister of Natural Law and Order in the cabinet of Maharaj Adhiraj Rajaram, first ruler of the global country of world peace. And in this role of Minister of Natural Law and Order, Raja Luis works very closely with the Mahashi Vedic Pandits, those great timeless families who have the responsibility to maintain a high level of collective consciousness for the world. And at this time, when people are concerned for their health, for the health of their loved ones, for their financial situation, for the economy, for corruption, for the environment, for so many things, civil rights, people look, Raja Luis, to your leadership, to your wisdom, to your experience. What is your message for the world today? Welcome, and please go ahead.
Jai Gurudev, and thank you for the opportunity to be together and sharing the news in our Global Family Chat. I think Maharajaji has addressed very recently all our movement family, especially governors, siddhas, and this beautiful message. This is a very special time. And in this time, it's a time of transformation. And of course, it has very worry and concern for the health and for the families that they are suffering worldwide. And they are all our families, so it's part of our very own. So we naturally worry and concern. But at the same time, when we look at in the perspective of a global transformation for the world, it is like we knew that this year, we had been told by the Maharishi Jyotich that 2020 is really a key transformation year in the world, because the world will probably not be the same after all this process. And that means that consciousness will need to rise more and grow more in order to bridge the gap that is felt now in the world, in its destiny and its direction. So in such a time, there are two important recommendations. One thing is Maharishi's knowledge has the power of coherence and well-transforming ability in a period like this. And that's why Maharajaji has recommended us, like Maharishi will do, that in this time, we invite all the governors, siddhas, meditators, and even non-meditators that they care to participate in our programs of coherence, well coherence, by meditating together, at the same time, each one in the comfort of their homes, by flying together, by participating and focusing the time inward. The world is on more silent mandatory lockdown for the purpose of better health. And this is a time for deeper transcendence. This is a time for deeper coherence. Now, what is the role of coherence in this transformation? The more coherence we create now with our collective meditations, our participation in Super Radiance program, our participating in enjoying Vedic recitations, our participating in knowledge online programs, all that we can do at home, knowledge, rounding in special situations as Maharaja has guided, extra meditation, extra knowledge. What is the effect of all this? The effect is that we are increasing our power of coherence in a time that can make the difference to soften up the process. And how we do that? We do that in two ways. Ne? We do that with yoga and we do that with Yagya. These are our tools that Maharishi developed, Maharishi gave to the world, is his gift for well development of consciousness. And in these two, what is happening in the world is what we can say is a very big transformation is building up, and this challenge to the whole world population also is to take the best out of all of us in order to raise to the new world that is coming, that we are all going to create, and that we are creating by increasing our consciousness. So if we use this opportunity to raise to the occasion, to do whatever is due to do, to keep our isolation, to do our internal inner life, to support others by transcending and knowledge, we will remember this time as the final transition time to a period where all mankind growing consciousness and the boundaries, the concepts, the limitations, we are tested to the limit in order to increase our capacity as mankind for the time that has to come, a time that is building up month after month, day after day, for so many years with our Building Coherent program of a new time that is definitely on the horizon. We have been telling it many times, but when people is busy in the regular time, they might not see it. Now that everyone has to look within and look more quietly, some may start to consider that this must have more reality than before. So that is our initial message, Dr. Swan. We want to do yoga, Maharishi yoga, and Maharishi Yagya. And how we do Maharishi yoga? From the comfort of our home, meditator, siddhas, governors. Even if a non-meditator wants to close the eyes and put his attention, be there while we are doing all that, everyone is welcome. We are the global country of world peace. We cater for the whole population. And Yagya, the Maharishi Pandits in India and in Nepal, with Raja Harishji and with Raja Kingsley, we are working to have many Yagyas for health and for releasing the well health while we are having our coherence being done at home. These two things together has this very powerful effect.
Beautiful, Raj Luis-ji, and Dr. Susie Swan, who manages the Ambassador Resource Office, all together with the ambassadors all around the world, they have raised a record amount this cycle for national yagyas for many countries of the world. So great thanks to all those who contribute and to the ambassadors who have helped to organize this. And it's a great sign that people are willing to invest more time and money and effort into Mahashi's programs at this time of transformation?
We appreciate and we thank everyone that is donating for Yagyas, national Yagyas, Atirudra, and personal Yagyas, all possible Maharishi Yagyas being performed for every country, for the individuals, for the world, all this togetherness of Maharishi Yagya, and then all Maharishi Yoga around the world with everyone doing its super radiance and its meditation together at the same time, wherever we are. All these two things together combined will have a very deep transforming effect. And also it's a very delicate time, and it's a time where our patience and our optimism about life is being checked and is being put to test. But these are the precious times to give the best of ourselves and to express and to extract the more than we have. And for that, we go within, we go to our unbounded being, we surrender our consciousness innocently there, and we keep on increasing our ability to deal with this situation. And our coherence is the togetherness of everyone around the world. People meditating in New Zealand and in California or in Hawaii or in Mexico. Gradually, as the sun rises through the day, everywhere flying and meditation is happening. And that fresh wave being created and then being stirred by all the Maharishi Yagyas is like tickling all when consciousness in this moment to build it up to the next stage. That's what we are doing. That is what we all need together to do.
And Raja Luisji, this tickling of world consciousness, do the Maharshi Jyotishis say when the consciousness might be tickled enough to settle down again?
The Maharishi Jyotich gave us already last year. They told us that when it was the center of February 19th, 2021, that was going to be very critical. And that was when the coronavirus expanded from a phenomenon mainly in China to a world phenomenon. So that prediction we had from them, not specifically for a virus, but for concern in the world from last year. What we know from them is that this is a delicate period, and the most delicate period is the month of March and April. And then it starts to be gradually better as per the Maharishi Jyotish predictions. In the month of May, June is when we start to see that things start to be in a better direction. So these health issues, they are long-term issues. It's not that they disappear over time, but that the Jyotish sees that they start to be, that the state of fear, mainly in world consciousness, the state of shock, which is what we are considering mainly now, becomes less and less and gives rise to a much optimistic and much more positive move from this month of June and then July and then going into September. So this is their prediction.
Very nice. So it's not. So we don't have a very long course. We have only a couple of months to be really on this inward program. So we should make the best use of it.
You see, we don't know exactly. Some countries, they have different situations than another, but is this period that goes from these months of March and April, which they are more the internal periods, more like inward periods. It's not that, big epidemics or diseases, they need longer time for a number of reasons. The vaccines takes longer, the health systems, they have to get adapted and transformed to cope with it. But the state of paralysis and concern in world consciousness, this deep shakiness of world consciousness that as we are experiencing now, it gradually releases on those periods.
So May, June, end of April, May, June, then it starts to become more normal.
Yeah, it starts to be, according to Maharishi Jyotish, we see some relief, some improvement. And then when it's June, July, August, September, we already see like like breathing, the life is breathing back peacefully. This thing will pass. This is not the end of the world. It is just a period of transformation, and it goes very deep in asking us how deeply we want the world to be better and different, and it's arresting us in our rooms in order to wish it deeper and go in the deepest of our being. So it's like a test for all of us to raise to the occasion, to follow all our health recommendations from our governments, to follow strictly all our policies given by the authorities, and to add to that all our consciousness programs in order to be most productive and most helpful to everyone and to ourselves in this situation.
And what do the Jyotishis see coming out of this tremendous, intense transformation period?
See, someone was reminding us, we had a conference in July last year in MUM with Raya Peter and Charlie about Jyotich, ne? And at that time, we touched a few points, and one of the points that we said at that time, that is in July last year, we are going to, I'm just quoting one of the things that was said, ne? We are going to witness a huge transformation and to be able to rise to a total new quality of life. There'll be a total new time is coming where the way of thinking and the rise of consciousness is going to be much more different than what we see now. We are going to review. We are going to see a total transformation of the world. That is the predictions last year in July about this new year. And you see now, when they were then, I remember when we explained to a group of studies of Jyotich in Maharishi University of Management, and Maharishi International University, sorry, they thought, but this is so out of reality. But now they all say, maybe this is now we start to see. What we are seeing is a new time is coming. And sometimes for a new time is coming, the check of the whole system it's put on review because a new level is developing in world consciousness, and that's what we are seeing.
And for this new time, this new thinking that will be completely different, you have mentioned in the past the rise of Dharma at this time. Is this the main underlying trend that is rising?
You see, what happens is as consciousness grows, naturally the use of the value of the life grows. And that's what, when we say Dharma, we mean that, ne? That the action that it's more in supporting of natural law, is more in harmony with what is best to do for evolution. Ne? And that is naturally what is growing when the rise of consciousness. What is different in this well that the Jyotich see coming to the one that we have been is that consciousness becomes a major player in the fields of all fields of life, not just in the individual fields, but in the social, the political, and the economic fields, playing a role much more important than has been until now. And that is naturally, with all those years, Maharishi was telling us that we have to raise well consciousness, so that will affect all areas of society. So that's exactly what is happening now.
That's very exciting, Raju Luisji, because consciousness, many scientists even dispute to this day that consciousness even exists. So now it is something completely new that is coming into the awareness of people everywhere, that there is something which we call consciousness, and that it has this holistic value which upholds all areas of life. Is this what you are meaning?
Well, yeah, what we are meaning is, Maharishi has been telling us of consciousness, and if you see how Maharaja has connected Veda and human physiology, all the discoveries done in that field, already for the young generation, the internet is like a field of consciousness. You know, already that concept, there's no frontiers, it's just one field. There you can access anything, you can create anything. It's already, there is some expression of that in that way of operating. We are talking that this becomes more predominant in all areas of society, and that the connection of the human relations, that they are now based on economy, or the connections that they are based on faith in the beliefs in the religion, they have a bridge in consciousness that gives a new holistic sense to life for every religion or spiritual development, and also gives a new rise of how economic and political and administrative matters in the world are going to be considered. This is the rise of the new time.
So this bridge in such areas as religion, will it make people less tight about their boundaries and more able to be flexible and discuss with their brothers and sisters of other religions?
You see the situation in the world now. All different religions, they are there, but everyone is locked down and everyone is together trying to come out of this situation with their best prayers and their best wishes. Suddenly, when there is something that challenges all, the differences, they don't become so important, and more the unity and the appreciation of everyone. One thing that happens is when there is more consciousness, we appreciate more the differences of others, and we see that they are precious in the world development rather than consider them a challenge to our own way. So the religion will be more universal and appreciating each one its own values, but in a more universal way.
Very beautiful. And all the projects of creating big groups of yogic flyers in Latin America and India, they're all proceeding all right?
Well, you see, the schools in many places have closed, né? Not all, in all places in Latin America. In some places they're still going on. In some places in India, the lockdown of the schools is everywhere. So then the students are at home. So what we are doing now is an online student program. That means we are in contact with the teachers and the schools, principals, and then we are the ones that they are available with internet. We are giving them like an online super radiance program and a little bit more a refreshment, more adapted to the school or to the military or to the rehabilitation project. But we add their numbers to our regular meditators. So if Father Mejia, thousands of meditators and siddhas, they join the super radiance on their time zone, it becomes a lot of siddhas in that area. Né? So we are doing that, and then at the same time, seeing that they get special knowledge online while we are not able to be in the buildings. So that is what is also a special experience for us, to transfer our physical presence to a digital presence to continue the program. We had already some experience because 70 or 80 schools in Latin America already we are managing digitally more 80% of the time. We have teachers there, but there is a lot of support programs online already. So it's an extension of the online program and a very good time to improve and prepare our teachers and our institutions. So when they open, we come with much more prepared, ready-made programs to reach targets that they are much larger than before, but with better quality than before.
What sort of programs are you mentioning now?
What we are mentioning now is, one thing is training of teachers in schools and in institutions to maintain the program. That is one. And another, programs that integrate our knowledge with the different programs on the institution. And we do have a number of places, and it's not necessary to get in the, where we have clusters of schools. Clusters of schools means, okay, we have been dealing with 50 or 100, but now we are dealing with 10, 20, 30, 50,000 schools simultaneously. So when we have to do that, we need a total different approach how to handle this, and that is what we are learning now.
Mm-hmm. And this,
I know it looks like impossible, but if we are able to do one school, we're able to do maybe 10, we are able to do 100, we're able to do 1,000, and maybe we're able to do 10,000 or 15,000, and millions of students can be benefit. And that preparations, how to do that, how to, in different places, they call it different names. In one place, they call it happiness center. So the happiness center time and happiness center activity of transcendental meditation. And then we have to add asana, some places, and pranayam, and then some resting. And then in some places, they want Ayurveda. In some other programs, they want an anti-stress strategy because the students are very stressed. Others, they want a human development and creativity program. All these are subjects in the curriculum of millions of students. That's, for us, a new challenge.
It's wonderful, Raja Luis-ji. And all of this prepared in terms of their way of thinking and their language and their approach to life.
That's it. That's it. That's it.
Beautiful, beautiful. So this is something completely new. We have never done anything.
That's what I mean. Let's take this time with patience, inward to use our knowledge the best, to be healthy and do all the recommendations of the government and Ayurveda to be healthy in every way possible and to care for the health of others and to raise our consciousness to a new time that is dawning.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Raja Luis-ji. When we hear all of this that you are preparing, then we don't want you to spend more time with us because every minute away from doing all of this is a shortening of the amount of, or is a lengthening of the time it will take to bring more coherence to the world. But Maharshi very much appreciated that you speak regularly to his global family about what you are doing. He felt it was very, very important. So thank you very much for continuing to speak to Maharshi's global family regularly, and certainly everybody around the world deeply appreciates it.
It's a thank you for the opportunity. Remember, all of us will remember what Maharaja said. Let's be more together than ever before from our transcendental field, from our knowledge field, from our Yagyas, and let's hold hands from the silence and see this time as a inward time where we are preparing for a better world consciousness. Jai Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev. Thank you, Raja Luis-ji. All blessings of Maharshi on everything you are doing, as always. And with all our gratitude to Maharshi-ji and to Maharaja-ji, we end now by ringing the bell of invincibility for every one of your 22 countries and all the other areas you are working on to be fully invincible and fully healthy and fully affluent and happy very, very quickly, and from them to the rest of the world. Jai Gurudev.
Heaven ascending, descending on the earth. Buddha's grace is bringing